found out Riley had this allergy, um, he was maybe 2. Um, we probably should have known earlier, and it is truly by the grace of God that he is still here. There have been um, uh, many times where things, could have gone potentially terribly wrong. Um, so when Riley was a baby, he had issues with soy formula. Um, he spit up a lot. He had like acid reflux like crazy when he was a baby. So I remember I switched from like the regular formula that I had been giving him, that I had given Reagan when she was a baby. I switched it to like the soy one, and that was so much worse. Like, I mean, it was like The Exorcist. So the doctor said, "Don't give him soy. It's probably soy." So we switched back to the regular, and she's like, "He's just a spitty uppy kid," and I'm like, "Fantastic." So then, we fast forward. I don't even think when Reagan and Raleigh were like little, I'm not even sure how popular egg allergy was, because I don't remember giving scrambled eggs as like a big deal. So so it never was something that I, worried about giving to them. I never even like considered this as like one of those big food introductions, where like when you're introducing a baby to new food, it's the only thing you give them that week, because you want to make sure that there's no reaction to it. We didn't have that big special week with eggs. Okay, it was like, I don't even think I ever did an introduction to it, because I ate them all the time when I was pregnant. I never wanted them when I wasn't pregnant. So I wasn't making scrambled eggs ever on the regular. Hard-boiled eggs, maybe every now and then, egg salad randomly, but it just has not been a big food for me post pregnancy. So I don't even remember the first time Riley actually came into contact with an egg. The first memory I have of that was when he was like a year, maybe a year and a half, so in that 6 month time frame, from 1 to 18 months. And we had dropped Reagan off at school, gone to our favorite little like breakfast place in our old hometown. And I remember like Riley took a piece of scrambled egg off my plate, ate it, but he was eating like other stuff. That's, what little kids do, they eat off your plate. And then it was like hives, just hives. But he had eaten other stuff, so I really wasn't sure. Like, it didn't go, "Oh my gosh, it's egg." So, but it was hives everywhere, and I was like, something's really wrong. So I called the pediatrician and rushed him over to her office. She had us like sit in the back room. They gave him a lot of Benadryl. I sat back there with him for a while, like gave him a bottle, and I think we were there for a few hours. So I wanted to make sure everything was good, taking his vitals, all that stuff. No kind of no danger, no kind of distress or anything like that. So we were able to go, and there was still not a conversation about like maybe there's a food allergy here. So then first birthday. Now again, I don't know if I have this timeline wrong. Like, that egg incident was probably after the first birthday, but first birthday, you do the big like smash cake thing. Well, Riley had like, I have this picture, which I'll probably use as the cover photo for this, but he like, we're all standing there like, "Cheese, happy birthday." And he's got his cake in front of him. Oh, and he has like this look of horror on his face. And that picture was taken after he had had a bite of food. It's not funny. After he had had a bite of food, a bite of the cake, and about probably 15 seconds before it just all came up. Okay, and I'm talking like all of it, way more than I thought he had ingested. And we were like, "Oh, that's so crazy. Why is he throwing everything up?" And then it's not funny. None of this is funny, but he's still with us, so I can have these conversations and laugh about it. But yeah, so it was bad. And again, never dawned on me that it was the cake. Never dawned on me that it could possibly be egg. never dawned on me that it was actually a food allergy. I'm still like just plugging along thinking everything's fine. My kid just randomly gets sick every now and then. And but anyway, so fast forward to when he's like 1.5, almost 2, and I take him to the doctor, take him to an allergist because he's got other issues, and I thought, I just gotta get him tested. I wonder what this kid's allergic to. I have terrible asthma. I have had crazy allergies my whole life. So I was like, he's got to have something. So I took him to my allergist who had diagnosed me when I was 5. So we go, and it's like all this nostalgic, wonderful trip. And they do the skin tests, and they do the food skin tests too, on top of the like regular allergen, like environmental things that they test for. And the egg and soy actually both tested like off the charts for him. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then I'm thinking back to the soy formula experience, and then the like cakes and all these things that like he just never eats. He like totally stays away from. And so yeah, so it all got to be. And then he was like, you probably need an EpiPen. So we've had an EpiPen since Riley was about 2. Except that is even like, so that should be another episode talking about EpiPens and their usage, because man, there was a lot of misinformation about those. I wish I had been better trained and better educated. I wish I'd educated myself more on what the EpiPen really is and when it should really be used. I was always like fearful that epinephrine, if you don't need it, will kill you, and that is not true. It will save your life if you need it. It will just make your heart race a lot if you don't need it. So I wish I'd known that, because I probably would have stabbed Riley with his EpiPen several times over the course of the next decade. But anyway, that's one of those like mom guilt things. But yeah, so that's Riley's story. That's how we found out about Riley.